Council of Nigeria for extending this invitation to us. And we like green building. We like sustainable building. We like conservation of water. We want the environment to be clean. You know, everything about sustainability, green building is lovely. And like dry meat that is very, very delicious. But it takes time for the meat to get. I'm a developer. My concern first is how do I recover money back? That is in Nigeria, we call it the cocoa
That's
of
the cocoa.
matter. That is the cocoa of the matter. I get money back. You know, we are going back to green development. So we have to unlearn some things while we learn new things. We have to adapt to some things. And you have the supply end, you have the demand side, the buyers and the seller. So, and both parties have to be convinced because the buyer is going more. So you need to now let him understand that even though you are paying more at the beginning, you are still going to gain at the end because your energy cost is not going to be very high. Water conservation management is going to improve. Even your well-being, your visit to hospitals is going to be reduced. And your contribution to global emission is going to be. We have so many advantages. But I think that government have to step in. We need subsidy. There is no land for poor man or for rich man. It is land. You know, nobody would discriminate and say, you won't bet me to sell it of 5 million for 10 million because I'm constraining the salary of the buyer. Not going to happen. I'm still going to sell at my price. So we need that bridge. Subsidy in the area of getting land. Subsidy in the area of planning hours. That is for the developer. And somebody mentioned something yesterday that even in some countries that if you green building, green property, you are exempted from payment of land, what we call grant or tenement rates. You remember 4 or 5 years ago, if you buy electric vehicle in the UK, you get like £4,000 subsidy, the government. And also you won't be congestion charges. So people were encouraged to start patrolling. Advocacy has to be taken to the door of the policy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please clap for him. One of our panelists, engineer Haruna, is not around. We have
luxury apartments, hotel, offices, and the rest like that. Towering in Boston. Beautiful, well, just 2 years ago. But also had what was the reasoning behind that kind of development? The reason that this thing we talk about luxury and to the down low people might not be all able to get into the main one Congress building. Can you just imagine that kind of thinking? two sustainable green thing, but the other building was the one they developed targeted at accessing the people that will be like sub-workers for that main apartment. Please put it across to everybody. Take time tonight to go and study.
Developers loan through the cooperative. We used to have estate developers loan before, but that is no longer available. But at least they still give construction loan to cooperative or for cooperative projects. And mortgage to that's about 6%, between 6 to 8% or 9%. And they now even have rent to own, you know. I remember 2 years ago, most people that bought property from me, one of my projects, they came in with zero money because rent to own of the Federal Mortgage Bank, and they are living there. The Federal Mortgage Bank, and they are living there today. Such incentives can actually help the market to grow and to reach affordability.
Thank you, sir, for him. I want to apologize that time is not just there for us, so I will just take one question here, then I leave a little time for us to ask them questions. Would that be okay? Then I leave a little time for us to ask them questions. Would that be okay? Julius will just answer this very briefly. How can we increase trust and awareness among buyers and communities that green housing awareness among buyers and communities that green housing is not just for the rich?
Oh, okay. Very tight. For when you say green house statement I made concerning how I was encouraged into green building. First time when I heard about green, I said no, I don't want to get into that because it's too. When I heard about green, I said no, I don't want to get into that because it's too expensive, you know, to erect and to put together. But it may be expensive from the onset, while the long run, is cheaper to run. You know, as time goes, it's cheaper than what you would have spent in brown building. And then about making it affordable. Sensitization and collaboration, it's very important. I talked about collaboration earlier. And incentive is also important. Incentive in the sense that he just talked about
think about it as developers. By the time we get there and they shut us down, it is still heading nowhere. Like he rightly said, you go to Ife today and some villages, there are story buildings and all of that. You see, it is wood. And it's been there for 100 years. And people are jumping on it and nothing is happening. They are using bamboo in other places to do. But bring those things here to development control. You understand? It won't even take off the ground. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, just make a
First point. Yes.
quick one, please.
To the first point, talking about assistance, grants, and all that. When somebody heard about what we're doing in Nigeria, and he called me and said, I heard about your project. I'm in Canada. I use electric car, and the government pay me for using an electric car. And then he said, can you come over? The land is there.